Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning, Sergeant at Arms.
I hereby call this meeting of Lake Mary Toastmasters Club 6440 to order. Before we begin, let's all silence our cell phones. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Our club mission is to provide a supportive, positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our Toastmaster for the day, Miss Stephany.
Thank you. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Does anyone know what today is?
Tuesday.
Is that all?
The 31st.
The 31st.
And-
Memorial Day.
Day before hurricane season.
Oh, really? And it was the actual day of Memorial Day until some corporate folk got together and changed it to the last Monday in May, making a 3-day weekend. But I remember back when Memorial Day was on the 31st, regardless of the day of the week. Okay, I'm going to first do a little housekeeping. We're going to substitute Stacy Brabenek, who sent a message that she could not make it. Subbing for her will be Stephen Morgan as the accountant. I think that is our only change this morning. Everyone else is here? Good. We have a guest today. Hi, welcome. Tell us your name.
My name is Angel Socaris.
Angel Socaris?
Correct.
All right, say hi to Angel, everybody.
Hi.
Okay. Do you know what you've walked into?
I sent my children here first and they gave me a heads up.
The kids were the scout. Okay.
Yeah, where are they this morning?
All right.
Sleeping, of course.
Okay. The preacher on Sunday reminded us that Memorial Day wasn't all about concerts and cookouts, but that we should remember. And then in a well-intended gesture, asked to stand all those who, and here's where I thought, this is getting interesting. This preacher is actually going to raise the dead. You see, he made a very common mistake, confusing Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Veterans Day honors all of those who have served in the armed forces, while Memorial Day is commemorative. It preserves the memory of those who died while serving this country. So if any of those truly had stood up, that would have been recorded. That was a miracle. I'm going to introduce our technical table this morning. And I'm going to start with our grammarian, Jorge F. Tell us about your word.
Thank you, Master Toastmaster. As grammarian, it is my function to select the word of the day to help build members' vocabularies. Each member, when called upon to speak, is encouraged to use the word of the day. Other members may gently rap on the table when they hear a member use the word. The word of today is mollify. As a verb, it means to soften, in feel or temper, pacify, appease, mitigate, or reduce. I'm doing an eye exam here while I'm
Couple one letters.
An example of it used in a sentence is corporate benefits and policies are changing in order to mollify millennial employees. Those who have a speaking role today, if you don't use the word of the day, it'd be 25 cents and I'll give my report at the end of the meeting.
And how about our grammar?
Oh, and my grammar. My grammar and everybody else's grammar. I'll be watching everybody's grammar. I'll be keeping track of everybody else's grammar, and I'll point out any mistakes or any colorful use of the English language.
Thank
That's
you.
Toastmaster.
Next up, our counter, Stephen Morgan.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, but particularly for Angel, because everyone already knows what I'm doing. As our counter, I'm going to be listening to all the little hiccups, verbal pauses, your verbal foibles in particular, whether you're using ahs or ums or bridge words like as well, so, but, and, those little you knows, the words that we don't need, that we insert because we're not ready for the next word, we're pausing to think, they interrupt your flow and often will detract from the message you're going to give. I'm going to be counting them. I listen closely. If you notice I am not looking at you, it's often because when I'm looking, I don't hear as much, so I tend to not look. And hear more of them. I'll be reporting General Evaluator at the end of the meeting, and those members who have already completed their Icebreaker would be responsible for 5 cents for each one. So fundraising time.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hawkins. And table, a timer, Marty Simon, tell us that.
Good morning. Good morning, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. My function is to time the speakers, evaluators, and table topic participants to ensure they meet the timing requirements. I will demonstrate timing lights for our speakers and table topic participants. We have varied timings today, so Carol, you're going to get a joke out for your title. So. 4-minute green, 5-minute yellow, 6-minute red, and then Macarena going the long haul today. 10, 12, 14, and then for the evaluators, you're going to get a green at 2, 2.5, 3. Table topics, it's really fast, so 30, 45, and 60 seconds. I'm going to give you a report at the end of the session.
Actually, Marty, let me help you. I should have given you this before. Macarena is going to be in 3 sections.
Oh.
So the first part is 3 to 4 minutes. Write that down.
Oh, no. 3 to 4.
That's her speech portion. The second will be a demonstration with a partner, 5 to 7 minutes. And the last 2 to 3 minutes will be spent with us, discussion and Q&A.
Oh, okay, I will be busy then.
Yeah, pay attention, real sharp. Okay? All right. Speaking of icebreakers, got one today. Yeah. And this is going to be interesting. Yeah. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what she's going to tell us. For those of you who have grown up with a non-traditional name, you know the challenge it goes with introducing yourself to new people, having your name read over a PA system, or simply ordering takeout. In her first competent communication project, the Icebreaker speech, new member Teryl talks about the burden of growing up with a name you spend your entire life spelling, pronouncing, explaining, and correcting for people. Please welcome new member Teryl. Do I have that right? Teryl McLean.
Good morning, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. My name is Teryl McLean, and if you've grown up with a non-traditional name, then you've spent a good part of your life spelling and repeating and pronouncing, sounding out your name for other people. When I meet someone new for the first time, it goes something like this. Hi, nice to meet you, I'm Teryl. No, not Carol, it's actually Teryl with a T, that's in Tom, E-R-Y-L. No, not Tyrell. It's Teryl, like Cheryl, but with a T. Okay, there's no H. It's just, you know what, you can just call me Carol. I estimate I've spent about 19,748 minutes explaining my name to people. I was named after my father's best friend in high school. They played ball together, and after they graduated, my father's friend went on to start a garage or an auto repair shop in South Bend, Indiana. Now, my mom wishes that she'd never told me this story because I take immense pleasure in any opportunity to share it with other people when she's around. So sometimes when I meet people, they'll say something like, wow, Teryl, that's a really unusual name. And if my mom's there, I'll say, thanks, I was named after a garage in Indiana. And then I'll stare at my mom. I love my mom, but I love to give her a really hard time. And that is probably why I don't have children. My husband and I have been married for 18 years. We've been together for 28. And we decided early on that we didn't want children. It's not that we don't like kids. It's just that we are kids. We like to do whatever we want, eat whatever we want, watch whatever we want, go wherever we want, whenever we want. Plus, I don't like to share my food, so no parenting for me. Interestingly, I work in careers where I work with children. Out of college, I started at Nickelodeon Studios. I worked there for 10 years. That's, the kids' television channel. And I left when they closed the production facility here in Orlando, Florida. And then I joined Scholastic Book Fairs, which are these in-school book fair events for kids, lots and lots of kids. And despite the fact that there are kids involved, it's actually a really great fit for me. I've been there for 13 years, and I love to read. In fact, it was probably fate, because I won the school-wide book fair contest in the 4th grade and got my picture in the newspaper for the second time.
Wow.
The first time was for competing in an all-night roller skating marathon. So books are really, really important to me. I grew up in Marietta, Georgia. My mom and dad divorced when I was 5 years old. And we were poor. We weren't, homeless, have no idea where our next meal is coming from poor. But she had to work 2 jobs a lot just to keep us afloat. But one thing she did is she always made sure that we had plenty of books. She would buy me books for my birthday and at Christmas. She would read to me from the time I was born. She signed me up for a monthly book club. She'd drive me to the library on weekends before I could ride my bike there on my own. It was really important to her that I have books. And for Christmas 1979, she bought me a first edition box set of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I was 11 years old. It's still my favorite series to this day, and I read it every 3 years. The exact same books. They're pretty warped because they've been in pools and bathtubs and every place, but I still read them every year. Thanks to her, reading is one of the best and most important things in my life to this day. One of the other most important things is my husband. I met my husband in college. We actually met at a campus bar. We were there with other people, but somehow he still got my phone number and he called me the next day to ask me out. Now here's the thing about my husband. He loves to use crazy voices. So he left me a 2-minute message on my answering machine in full-on Granny voice. I have no idea how we ended up together. It might have been his beautiful smile, but miraculously we did, and we're still together today. And now when we meet people, it goes something like this. Hi, I'm Teryl, and this is my husband, Keith. No, it's Teryl, not Carol. Like, T as in Tom? No, he's not Tom, he's Keith. You know what, you can just call me Carol.
Timer, can we have a minute on the clock for evaluations? Give us some encouragement, y'all. Light them up. Well, we have more guests. Come in, welcome.
Leave the chair.
Welcome to Lake Perry.
Why, thank you.
I know I made you nervous, guys, but I just got here. You did, you did.
Stop blowing so much.
What did you sunburn? What did Stephen say? Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
That is 1 minute.
A minute?
That's it.
On Memorial Day, the flag of the United States is raised briskly to the top of the staff and then solemnly lowered to half-staff position. It remains like that only until noon. Then it is raised to the full staff for the remainder of the day. The half-staff position remembers the more than 1 million men and women who gave their lives in service of the country. At noon, their memory is raised by the living who resolved not to let the sacrifice be in vain, but to rise up in their stead and continue to fight for liberty and justice for all. Now, we're going to transition here to persuasive speaking, conquering the cold call. Macarena's speech, it will be divided into 3 sections. First will be in a 3 to 4 minute presentation discussing the cold call sales of expensive items. The second will be spent demonstrating a 5 to 7 minute scenario with a volunteer. The last 2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 3, will be spent with the audience, discussing the power of persuasive speaking, the process, and Q&A. Help me welcome competent communicator Macarena to us with her speech, Want It, Gotta Have It.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Morning.
And guests. I'm glad that everyone could be here. Not sure if everyone was here for my last speech, but let me just refresh everyone. My last speech, I gave a speech on the persuasive process of selling an inexpensive or low-cost product. I tried to sell a camera to Gus, in which Gus was able to walk out of the store with a camera, exactly what he was looking for the trip that he was going on. Today, I'm going to be taking it a step further. I'm going to be discussing the persuasive process of a cold call. Now, what's a cold call? A cold call is when you go, instead of the buyer coming to you, the seller goes to the buyer. Trying to sell, in this case, it's going to be an expensive product. It can be an expensive product that they have to put an investment in, a car, a home, appliances, a computer, something that is not going to take a day to come to a decision on, but it may take weeks, it may take months, it may take a while before they actually do sign the papers and say, this is what I'm going to be investing on, this is what I'm going to be purchasing to make my life better and benefit not just me, but my entire family. So how do you come across a cold call? Now, most people, you'll actually get a phone call at your home. Some of you may answer it. Some of you may not answer it. Thank you to caller ID. Usually when I see a phone number on my phone, I just don't even pick it up. I let the answering machine take it. But in this case, with my demonstration, I will be doing it live. So cold calls present a special challenge to the salesperson. How? Buyers are more hesitant or more cautious. This is a lot of money we're talking about. So they're going to be asking a lot of questions, and you as the buyer, as the seller, should be asking questions yourself. The process, like I said, can take days, weeks, or months, and you're often addressing more than one person. Unlike Gus, where I was addressing just one person, he was just buying a camera. And instead of investing something that may be $20, $30, it may be $20,000, $30,000. So you will be most likely dealing with more than one person. I know if my husband ever came home saying he just bought a $30,000 something, he'd probably be sleeping on the couch if I wasn't there. So people will change if they see that what they have is necessary and beneficial to what they need. Now, here's the catch about cold calls. The seller who may not think that they have a problem with the product. They're comfortable with the status quo. They don't see a problem, they don't recognize a problem, but the buyer's there to let them know, hey, there's a problem and we have what you need to make your life easier. That's where you get them. They're like, oh wow, I really do have a problem. I really do need to change because this is not only costing me an electric bill, whatever it may be, you are there to notify them there is an easier solution that if you invest in this, this is going to help you in the long run. You're gonna get a lot of money back. So how can you, as a seller, achieve this? For one, be a resource. Consider the buyer to be a priority. Credibility plays a huge role. Be knowledgeable about the business world, trends, and even your competitors. And above all, buyers like to trust you and like you. Be honest about yourself, your product, and your experience. Be realistic about what the product can and cannot do for you. And above all, express concern about the buyer and your needs, not your own. You're not going after them because you need to get that commission. Go after them because you generally care about improving their own lives. Number 2, question with care. Phrase questions in a way that avoid putting buyers on the defensive and making them feel manipulative. How many times have you heard this? Would you like to save thousands of dollars on your bill? Duh. Who wouldn't want to save thousands of dollars of your bill? Treat them with intelligence. Treat them like they're an intelligent person. Don't ask them questions that are number one, are going to put them on the spot. Because if they say, well, who wouldn't want to spend thousands of dollars on the bill, they're going to say yes, and guess what? You got them for the next 15 minutes. And number 3, addressing objections. When you're selling an expensive product, there will be objections. Don't worry, it's not going to cost you the sale. For example, say you're a real estate agent, you're showing a house, they have 2 dogs. You show them the backyard. They say, I have 2 dogs. This backyard is way too small. As a real estate agent, don't try to defend yourself. Say, you know what, you're right. It does look a little bit small. But let's go inside, let me show you the kitchen. We just made a full renovation on the kitchen. They will go home, weigh their pros and cons, and they'll say the kitchen is going to be where I spend the majority of the time on. Forget about the backyard. I'll go ahead and take the house anyway. Don't freak out. It doesn't mean that it's going to cost you the sale. So for the next portion of this speech, I'm going to ask Kerri, who is going to be my buyer. Say hi, Kerri.
Hi, Kerri.
And we are out of store. Kerri doesn't realize that she has a problem, but of course not. The product we're going to be discussing is, I'm sure you've seen the commercial, the brand new Family Hub, the brand new Family Hub refrigerator. It just came out on the sales floor. Not many people know about it. Kerri does not know about it. She has not seen a commercial, but it's brand new. So I'm going to be approaching her, and we're going to be discussing about how this product, she doesn't know yet, but how this product is going to be benefiting her in the long run. So, okay. Hi. Hello. Let me ask you something. Is your refrigerator running?
It's running,
I'm
yes.
just kidding. I
just have
Macarena. What's your name?
Kerri.
Oh, Kerri. I have a sister named Kerri, but she spells it C-A-R-R-I-E.
Yeah, mine's spelled with a K.
With a K.
Yes.
Well, that's good. We have something in common. But I noticed that you were walking the appliance section, and I'm not quite sure if you are familiar with the brand new product that we have. It just came out on the line. Not many people have heard about it. But it's the brand new Family Hub refrigerator. Now, I'm not sure if you're having issues with your refrigerator at home, but I just wanted to ask you, are you experiencing any problems as of right now? And any major problems that you say, man, you know, I really don't have the time to deal with this, but I'll deal with it later, because I just don't have the time.
Actually, I am.
This is actually really true.
Yes, the ice maker just, it makes ice, it just doesn't come out of.
It doesn't come out.
Anymore.
Oh my goodness, that's quite a problem. But does it keep the food cold?
Oh, yeah.
Is there any kind of temperature issue, or it just doesn't come out?
Correct.
Well, this brand new refrigerator not only makes ice, but you can control the temperature. There is a dial in the lower portion where you can control the temperature on all 4 doors. This is 4 doors, and you open it up just like French doors.
Okay.
It's wonderful. There is a 21.5-inch screen, LED touch screen that you can use, and there is apps and widgets for it that it hooks up to your cell phone.
Oh my. I don't know about that. Might be a
It
little
hooks
too
up to your
extreme.
cell phone, and I know it may sound complicated, but let me tell you, it's going to make your life so much easier. Ever since it came out on the floor, I've been playing with it. As shoppers go by, I play with it. But there are widgets where it keeps your calendars, it shows you the weather, it shows you notes. Do you have kids?
Sure. I have 3.
You have 3 kids. What are their ages?
10, 9, and 10 months old.
Wow. Well, you're lucky because they're going to be teenagers soon, so they're going to be a lot. Well, this fridge has, like I said, it has widgets, it has apps, it has a calendar. They can write little notes on it. If they're going to a friend's house, they can write notes so that you can receive it when you get home. It's right there on your fridge.
Okay.
Everything can be connected. It's Wi-Fi. Everything can be connected on your phone. And let me ask you this question. How many times have you gone out of your house and realized you need to go to the store, but you don't know what's in your fridge? And you don't feel like coming home?
Sometimes. Not too often, but sometimes.
All right, well, let me tell you something. With your iPhone or with any kind of smartphone, you're able to go into this app and see exactly what's in your fridge. How? Every time you close the door, there are 3 cameras inside that take a picture of your refrigerator. You access it on your iPhone. It doesn't matter where you're having a massage. It doesn't matter whether you're at work. It doesn't matter where you're pumping gas. You know exactly what's in your fridge, and you can go straight to the store, knowing what you need and how many you need of. How does that sound?
I don't know that I want to know some of the things that are in my fridge. You know.
But it can be very beneficial. It saves a lot of time. It also has a child lock for your youngest one, so she won't. I know there's 4 doors on the bottom. It does have a child lock.
That's good.
Here's the great part. You're in the living room watching TV, but you have to go into your kitchen. And you don't want to miss that show. So instead of pressing pause or pressing the record button, you can go and watch it in your kitchen on the screen. It shows up right here. Here you can watch TV while you're cooking.
I can kind of watch TV while I'm cooking now. That's the way my kitchen and stuff are set up, but I don't know about the TV part.
As far as the ice, like I said, you can control it. The ice is just, it's wonderful. You're not going to be having any issues with the ice. And one thing, if you're ever having a problem in the future, in the long run, there is, if you sign up between now and December 31st, you get free service straight to your home. So they'll come by, fix it without any charge. That's if you believe it's 3 years. For 3 years.
Okay.
Now, it is energy efficient. You will be saving a lot of money in your electric bills. You really don't, every time you open the fridge, you sit there and you say, what do I have? What do I want to eat? This shows you, if you touch on the screen, it shows you exactly what's in your fridge without you having to sit there opening, what do I want to eat? What do I want to, and you think and you think and you think, and there goes your money out the fridge. So you can easily, through your 21.5-inch screen, touch screen, you can see what's in your fridge, always. So if it's something that you would love to know more about, I know it's not going to be something that you're going to be deciding right away. It is currently $4,800. It is brand new. But we can know that if you'd love to talk about it with your husband, we can go to the back. I can write down numbers for you and a proposal, as well as if you're interested, we can get you in the long run to get signed up for credit easily. There's 18 months, no interest at all. If you're interested, we can go in the back. I'll draw you the numbers. You can take it home, and I can give you my card. You can contact me whenever you'd like if you're interested.
I'll take the information.
Awesome, thank you. Well, I'll just follow me on back. So at this part, if anybody has any questions, comments, it's open for discussion.
I have a question.
Yes.
What exactly are we supposed to be, what kind of input are we supposed to be giving you?
It's just discussion. If you have any questions, it's open for Q&A.
About the product or about the presentation?
About the persuasion process
Okay,
of cold call sales. It doesn't have to be necessarily on the product.
okay.
Were you detecting any hints of, in the positive direction from her, were you playing off of that?
Yes, I was. When you're selling an expensive product, don't be shocked if you see objections. All right, this is expensive. It is going to be an investment that they're going to make, but don't. A lot of sellers, they get scared and they attack. They're on the defensive. And that's what pushes buyers away. They don't like that. They don't like to be put on the spot. So instead of being on the defensive, if you really do generally agree with what they're saying, agree with them. But steer them away into something that's more positive and it's going to benefit them. It's going to outweigh. They're going to go home, see how it's going to benefit them, and it may outweigh the pros and cons. Not everyone is going to need this product. Every family is different. Every home is different. Not everyone is going to need the product. So go by what you have to ask questions. Ask them, what's your family life like? How many kids do you have? And tell them how this product can help them in the long run.
So how did you feel her responses were? So as a seller, you gave her information, what's your percentage that you think she's going to come back?
60%. 60%. Because she does have kids, they are going to be growing. I feel that as a hardworking mom, as I could tell you're a hardworking mom, that she's going to go home, talk about it with her husband. She's going to be like, honey, look at this brand new fridge that just came out. Even if they come to a conclusion saying, well, we don't really need it, they are aware of it. They are, and it's something that they can discuss together. Yes, they talk about it. So you put the idea in their head.
My second question, how did you feel the conversation went? What's your take on it?
I think it went well because, like I said, there were things like, I don't care about a TV on my refrigerator, but there were other things that did have some benefits to it, like a calendar and keeping track of some things, versus having to have that information. So, yeah, the ice works. But versus having to have that information somewhere else in my house, like on a board or on a wall. Or
everything is all
something.
together.
Yeah.
Do you think you responded well to her objections, problems she has with her?
I feel like I responded the best that I could. Again, a lot of it comes from the questions that the buyer asks. This is how you get people to like you and trust you, is by asking questions. It's not about you selling the product and getting that commission. It's by generally caring about them. And the way to do that is by asking questions. So as you go, you ask them about their family life, about their work, about their busy life, and you can tell them how the product is going to benefit them. Everyone's going to be different. So. Okay. All right. Thank you.
I want one of those. 1 minute on the clock, please.
$4,800.
Yeah.
No thanks. That's what plastic is for.
And that's 1 minute.
Okay. In an attempt to mollify the families of fallen soldiers, the United States has stepped up its game a little bit in honoring them on Memorial Day with lots of bands and lots of wreath laying and decorating the national cemeteries and all, and making children aware and bringing children into the process. Now, we're going to hear from Ms. Kerri again as Table Topics Master, and we're going to pick up a couple of minutes, Kerri, between the Evaluator 2 and the Timer's Report. There's some time in there, so pick your victims well.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Well, Table Topics is a portion of our meeting where I just get to call on people and just have to randomly answer the questions that I'm asking, put you on the spot a little bit. I've brought some questions about Memorial Day as well as some current events. First one is, what is your favorite memory from any Memorial Day that you've celebrated? Sam.
Thank you, Master Table Topic. My favorite memory from any Memorial Day. All right, let's see if I can mollify the situation a little bit. Because it is something of reverence and sincerity, we also will take things a little more on the lighthearted side. People will go to barbecues. For me, I usually have my birthday party because my birthday is May 23rd, but it usually lands on Monday, falls into the Saturday, Memorial Day weekend.
No.
Yes, so my favorite memory was not this, but the last time I had a birthday party, because there was not only so many friends and family that we had together. Don't get me wrong, this past one was great too. I absolutely loved his 21st birthday.
Yeah.
But it was just so perfectly planned. Everyone came together, great time, and that's what I'm going to hold on to. Thank you.
How did you spend your Memorial Day weekend this weekend? Julia.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Actually, it was rather dull. I worked. And on the other side, on the flip side of that, however, my husband is a veteran. So it's always interesting to watch him do the downloading and recording and watching of all the films that come on AMC, et cetera, and to take the pride that I did in watching him stand up to be recognized in church. So Memorial Day is special for me because of that.
Which actually leads into my next question, which is, what is your favorite war movie and why? Rich.
I will say, Tabletop is my favorite current war movie. I'm a big movie buff. I love superhero movies. Is Marvel's Civil War when Captain America versus Iron Man, and the tension was deep in the room in the battle. And did anybody see the movie? I don't want to ruin the movie. Do you want me to not ruin the end of the movie? Spoiler alert, I'm just kidding. At the end, you don't know who's going to kill who and if anybody dies. So that's my favorite current war movie. Thank you, man.
Okay. And then I have a question about a little more current events with all of the media attention that was given to the Cincinnati Zoo this weekend with Harambe, the gorilla that was killed. So what do you think about it? And the fact that the parents are getting blasted all over social media for not watching their child? What do you think about that? Jorge.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Since we all know I'm such an animal lover, I did not have any issue with them. A human life is always worth more than an animal's life. So the fact that they had to, unfortunately, put down this gorilla, while unfortunate, the little boy's life, I believe, was more important than the overall gorilla's life. The parents, I guess, should have been watching more often. I don't know too much about what the parents were doing, and they obviously have some liability, I think, in this instance, where they weren't watching their child, so that gorilla's life might be on their shoulders and their conscience, instead of giving and blaming the zoo administrators and personnel for doing what they had to do to save this little boy's life at a moment's notice. It was a tough decision, I'm sure, but I think it was the right one to save the boy's life and put the human life ahead of the animal's life. Madam Table Topics Master.
A little boy at the Cincinnati Zoo got,
Oh, girl.
was it
Sorry.
girl? Child, 4-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Did they kill the gorilla while the boy was in there?
Yes.
Oh, that's different.
Yes.
Yes, he got in there and
They
just.
just
Gorilla
shut up
had
on
a
Facebook.
whole-
They just shut their mouths.
Yeah.
The gorilla actually had the kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
was
the
dragging him around.
gorilla that was protecting the kid anyways. Shut up.
We've got some announcements
Oh,
to
okay.
make, no, at the end, so we have more announcements to make at the end, so working on time.
Okay, thank you. I was at the zoo. Okay. I am going to now get to the education portion of our meeting by calling up our general evaluator, master evaluator, James Harris, ATM, CTM. Old school.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, this is why we come to Toastmasters. How did I do? You want feedback. In Toastmasters, the magic is that you get live feedback real time about how you did, how you came across, how your presentation was, how you met your objectives. Our first speaker, who was Teryl McLean, will be evaluated by CC Toastmaster Lori Richards. Please welcome Lori.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and Teryl. Teryl, I think it was amazing that you were able to come up here. I remember Teryl used to come to this club years ago, and I did too. And what I remember about her is that she's super funny, and I was right in my memory. Okay, that doesn't flow well, but anyway. You are really funny. What I appreciated about your introduction was it's very memorable. How you said, "My name is Teryl." No, not Carol. And you went through this whole thing, and it made me think of Who's on First routine, which I love. Another example of how you are so funny is that you said that you had to correct people on how to say your name 19,748 times. So that was really interesting. I like that you're genuine. You told us about growing up, that you were poor, not so poor that you were homeless, but you let us see into that part of your life. One thing, this isn't your fault, and I don't know how to fix it, but you're backlit here. So while I was looking at you, I couldn't see if you were making eye contact or anything like that. But what I did notice is that you played with your rings a little bit, with your hands. So that was maybe just a little bit distracting. Your conclusion tied right back in with your intro, which I thought was really funny, and how you just brought everything all together, and you included your husband and did that whole Who's on First kind of routine again, and you were really descriptive. So as an icebreaker, I thought we got to know you pretty well. I really, like I said, love your sense of humor, and I'm looking forward to your next speech.
Good job. The next evaluator will be evaluating speaker number 2, evaluating this is Julia Kaufman, DTM.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Masters, Angel, most especially Macarena. It's a pleasure, as your mentor too, to give you your evaluation on an advanced manual. She's working on a persuasive speaking. advanced manual on her second speech, Conquering the Cold Call. I know you're a millennial, but I won't have to mollify this evaluation. I have likes and opportunities, and as you can see, my likes are much more than my opportunities. So let me tell you what I loved about your speech. You always come well prepared. It's not a last minute speech. You put a lot of thought into what you're going to say. You're looking at the project, what the objectives are, and you focus on doing that. I loved the visual aids that you used. You're pretty smooth on that. Even when you had a little bit of a struggle, you were calm about it, just moved the sheets over there. I like that. It shows confidence. You were very relaxed up here. I really love how you use the stage board. I would have suggested maybe push the lectern up. That got in your way with the role play. Your back was to Stephany, and I think you could have staged that better, thought a little bit more of that in advance, so that when you brought Kerri up, it seemed a little bit awkward in the very beginning because you weren't quite sure where to stand, so you had this barrier. So next time, just think about that on a role play. Those are always added intensity when you're doing a role play because you don't know what she's going to say. In this type of manual, you're supposed to find your role play person, but not stage it. Like, she didn't know how Kerri was going to react, so she could have a natural conversation about the persuasive process. Other things I liked, when you were explaining the persuasive process, you were very clear, articulate, well-paced. Sometimes you went a little bit fast, so think about pausing a little bit more to let what you just said sink in a little bit. Eye contact was great. You used some of your notes. If you want to up the ante a bit, nail it so you don't have to use notes at all, so that you really understand what you're going to say. Especially if you're a seller. The first thing that takes me lose confidence in a seller is when they're reading notes, unless it's really technical notes. If they don't know, if they have to refer to notes, then I don't have confidence they really know their product line. What I liked, good use of humor. When you talked about Kerri doesn't realize she has a problem, that relaxed the audience. Here are some opportunities for you. Again, when you're staging your area, get everything out of the way. I noticed you were fumbling with your outfit, so I got distracted by watching you with your collar, your blouse here. So watch that, just don't worry about it, making eye contact. Also in persuasive selling, the rule is 70-30. So you talk more than listen more. So that's something to consider the next time, drawing her out, ask expansion questions so that you get more out of her. But overall, your opening, your ending, you knew what you wanted to say, you did a great role play with her, and you ended with questioning, and that is exactly what the manual asked you to do. So well done. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. Not to modify Riley's comments. It's always a good idea for the speaker to have communications with the evaluator before speech. Hey, I want you to look out for this, or listen for this, and try and improve in this area, so that when the speaker does the evaluation, they have something to say in case you're just a perfect person already. I'll pay you perfect. Okay, to evaluate, continue our Thomas report, not yet. How about a grammarian report from Jorge F.
We'll start out with individuals who use the word of the day. I heard it from Stephany, Sam, James, and Julia. I had to speak in rolling, even I blew it. Don't worry about it. As far as use of the English language, Teryl, I like what he said, I love my mom, but I don't want kids myself. Macarena, there were a couple of instances where you used on instead of in, and I'm investing on, or spent a lot of time, or majority of time on the kitchen or something instead of in the kitchen. I just on and in were kind of transposed there. Sam, you said, Mark, this is minor, you said master table topics instead of table topics master, and then kind of the flip, Rich said Madam table topics and no man left off the master altogether. But I like the spoiler alert disclaimer, thank you. And Lori, there was one time during your evaluation where you said I was right in my memory. I think you were going for something else there. But I do like your who's on first reference that you put into your evaluation. And that concludes my report.
We now have the archives report by Steve Morgan.
Mr. General Evaluator, this is what I managed to count. Sam, I had a toe in a butt, 10 cents. Rich had 3 double clutches, would be 15 cents. Julia Bucky's 2 ums, 3 so's, 2 ands, would be 35 cents. Julia
I'm the
Huffman's,
money person.
no you're not. Had 2 ums, 3 so's, 1 butt, 4 double clutches, 3 tongue clicks, and an and, that would be 70 cents. Lori's 3 ums, 3 so's, 5 double clutches, an okay, a tongue click, and 5 ands, would be 90 cents.
Amy.
Kerri, like lots of individual ones, had 1 1 so, 1 but, 1 you know, 1 clutch and 1 and, be 30 cents.
I'm just trying to get them all.
Teryl had 1 3 so's, a bud that you know, 2 double clutches, and now 3 ands, but it's your icebreaker, so you wouldn't know anything.
You don't get to pay.
One free pass.
After this, you pay. Jorge had 2 ums, 1 well, 1 so, 1 but, 5 double clutches, and an and took up most of them during his report. 35 cents. Stephany had 2 double clutches for 10 cents, and Macarena with the lovely long speech and the role play. This is where you really get hammered, unfortunately. Because you're doing things impromptu, that's when they really pop up. Had 1 7 so's, 15 double clutches, 3 nows, an okay, 2 tongue clicks, which would have been about 45. And to mollify everybody, that means the club would make $4.60. There is a reason we put all this together. Although I will note that both Jean and Carmen did not get a chance to speak, so contribute something.
In the future, we'll have to time the accounts report. Very good job. Now for our Thomas report.
Yeah.
Marty,
Time, what is time? Is it the sound of one hand clapping? I don't know. Teryl, well done. 4 minutes, 49 seconds. Macarena, I would love to mollify you and tell you that you got all 3 in the allotted time. You went 6:27 on the speech, 7:19 on the demo, and 3:35 on the Q&A. Sam,
Aye.
well played, sir, on the table topics at 59 seconds, and then everybody else got a little brevity in their table topics. Julia, 27 seconds. Rich, 27 seconds. That's a new record for you.
I know.
Certain of that.
Not very tall.
Jorge, you did go for 55 seconds. Lori, on your evaluation, 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Yeah. And Julia had a lot to say, but there was a lot to talk about. 3 minutes, 28 seconds. And that is my report.
General comments. Macarena, your presentation, you could have suggested that the refrigerator. I had a house burglarized one time and they stole the food out of the refrigerator. You could have suggested that the refrigerator could be used in the burglar alarm. Okay, the meeting started on time, perfect. The Toastmaster was excellent. The backdrop here with this bright light here, it's very hard to see, and it's great if you want to appear as God before your audience. It's hard to see you. We need to pull this down. You want to come down? I'm pulling down anyway.
You don't come?
You don't come down? Really?
Yeah.
One of those broken.
Okay.
The ribbon straight. Oh, yeah, we see that.
The room was well set up. Good job. The language was fantastic. Because the power is in the gestures, the vocal variety, and your selection of words. With them, you can do anything you want to with anybody, and they get the message. Madam Chairman.
Yes, sir. Oh. I don't know, I had a great weekend, I hope you all did too, but I'm still recuperating. Great speeches, wonderful icebreaker. Gus, forgot my icebreaker word, and if you could assist me for a moment.
Oh,
I appreciate that, I'm gonna go on.
yes, please.
We have a couple things coming up. We have a party Saturday, 7 o'clock at Kerri's house. Kerri, tell us about it, and let's see a hand of who else plans to come and stand an ideal of account.
I do now.
I will be there.
All right.
It's at my house, 7 o'clock on Saturday, 112 Majestic Forest Run, which is right off of 46. I don't know. Come and be merry.
Food, bring your own
Fun.
food.
Yes, bring your own.
Since I'm making the games.
Uh-oh.
Well, we have volleyball and we will have cornhole if we want to play that kind of stuff. So. Yes.
I was thinking about doing a twister. Do I get the twister, or like these games, you want me to pick them up, or that's my question. Like, if you want me to develop games that don't require any cost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so no cost games.
Yes.
Got it. All right, that's what I was
Yes.
my question. You guys are really low energy.
I know. Well, you want to.
It's sucking the life out of me. Alright? I thought we were gonna get pumped up and you're like, how drunk did you people get over the weekend? Why are you looking at me?
All right. We have officers. Good thing we already did our off counter. We have elections coming up next weekend. Stephen's our nomination chair. So Steve, where are we at with officers for next year? Which is July 1st is our fiscal year starting from Toastmasters.
Madam President, of those that I've heard interest of so far, we have Lori interested in president, Gus interested in continuing again at education. For membership, Kerri said she was interested, although Phyllis had expressed some as well. I'd be happy for someone else to take on PR, but I'll be there if no one else does. Phyllis also showed interest at secretary. Ernst was willing to continue as treasurer. Nobody expressed interest at sergeant at arms, and we're going to need that to set up the room. And the mentorship, the unofficial one, we haven't really made. Nobody explicitly said they wanted. Technically, it would fall under VP education if nobody does. So that's where those stand. More interest, and if you're interested, even if somebody's in the office, is fine. That's what we have elections for. Please speak up. We're going to be electing next week.
Great opportunity. Thank you. You have an option.
Open ballot. Open ballot.
Open ballot?
Yep.
No, it's secret.
You have an option to, typically for this club, we go a full year in that role. We also have the option to go 6 months. And I know that for the VP of Education, we're planning, Macarena is going to shadow Gus. He's going to handle it for the first 6 months. She'll shadow that. That's the hardest job. That's the one that takes the most time. You're using easy speak. You're making sure the agendas were set up. You're inputting information of our speeches into the system. So she'll shadow, and then in 6 months, she'll take over that role. Both will get credit for that. You get credit as an officer for your Competent Leadership Manual. It's a great experience. I loved it. This was my second time of being a president in Toastmasters. The first time I didn't know what the heck I was doing. This time a little bit more I know what I was doing. We hit the goals. I set goals. When you have a great officers team, you guys can just make everything happen. So I thank everybody for being in the role and making my job as the president for this club easy. So I highly recommend it. If you're interested, talk to Stephen. We'll put you on the ballot and we'll have elections next week. You also will have great help, support, manuals to follow, and every officer will also make sure that your transition is smooth so you're not alone in the role. So think about it. Now,
What's the date for the officers training coming up? So people can-
July
it is
30th.
July 30th. It's a Saturday. So that's one thing you have to think about. There's two requirements. There's attending 2 trainings. It's very important. It earns credit for the club. That's one thing before you take the commitment is, or take the role, is be committed to that training. And the first one is in July 30th. You can do makeup, but it's
Yeah, if you can't make the training, there will be makeups. It's not an absolute necessity.
you get more out of it though.
Yes.
Than the actual
The
TLI.
point is being an officer is your chance to learn the skills And you don't, so therefore you're going to be trained for them to learn them so that you're set and ready. You don't have to be ready before you start.
All right. I see I'm out of time. I got a couple more things quickly to do. Teryl, can you come back up? I'd like to congratulate you on your honor. The next one. Also, Angel, welcome to Lake Mary Toastmasters. What did you think of our meeting?
It was very interesting.
Please stand.
Oh, sorry.
The children will tell you that.
It was very interesting. Steve had told me a little bit about it. We know each other from the coach's son's basketball team. Like I said, my children came here first. I don't know if you remember that, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I couldn't make it because I was out of town, but it was very interesting, and I could definitely benefit from a training like this.
All right, well, welcome. Hope to see you again.
Welcome, come in.
Next week, the Toastmaster today is Samuel.
Yes.
All right, we have Shane, Marty, Gus.
Julia.
Oh, replacing you?
Yeah, we can
All
talk
right,
more.
Julia speaking next week. Stephany, table topics. We need to check with Alexandra, the general evaluator. And our 3 evaluators are not here. Candido, Dana, and Phyllis will have to check. So Samuel, you'll need to follow up with them. Stacy's checked his all counter. Teryl Grammarian, watch out. Teryl is for grammar. I'll just tell you now. She's our grammarian, and the timer is Lori Richards. Any other business that we want to discuss that I'm missing? Kerri?
Oh, just a side note, my concert's next Friday, the 10th.
This
So,
Next
Friday.
Yeah.
Friday.
the 10th. So,
Friday and Saturday, but you're there.
yeah, it's Friday and Saturday. I will only be there Friday, but feel free to go on Saturday. It's going to be a really good concert. And it's at Calvary Christian Church, and it's at 8 o'clock.
I was thinking it was this Friday. I will be out of town. All right. All right. With that, everybody.